Hey guys, welcome to the show. I'm Rantoinette. Got a lot of stories to get into today. None of them are this good. This is as good as it's going to get, and it's not going to get any better. Let's get into it. Okay. Let's start off with the Orange Julius Caesar, our dear leader, Donald Trump. He has had a very eventful week. Yes, he has. But let's just start off with he has fired Mike Waltz, his national security advisor, and he rehired him to be the UN representative, which is basically just putting him out the pasture because Donald Trump does not give a shit about the UN. He does not care about other nations. He doesn't give a shit. And he's putting you in a thankless job. If I'm not mistaken, that was where he put Haley, and you saw how much he showed his love for her last during the primary of this year. So, but anyway, that's the breaking news for today in regards to Trump. But I don't know. He's got his 100 days in, and they've been wonderful. They've been great. We have the bare shelves to look forward to with the tariffs. So we've got all the warmongering to look forward to and just enjoy as it happens with every nation that he could shake a stick at, whether it's moving the border of Canada or firing missiles into Mexico or starting a war with Iran or not starting a war, because he was asked this in an interview recently that he didn't want to start a war, but if Israel started the war, the interviewer, he says, well, if Israel goes in there, aren't you afraid that you're going to get dragged into a war with Iran? He's like, I didn't say that. They wouldn't have to drag me, folks. I'd come very willingly, very willingly. So, but this interview, I'm sure at this point you've probably seen the interview. He's being interviewed by a guy from, I think his name is Terry because Donald Trump mentioned it, from ABC. And there's one point in the interview he goes, I don't even know who you are, Terry. You should be very thankful that I'm, even talking to you. I picked you. I don't even know you, though. Anyway, this Terry brings up Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man. Everybody hates this. All the right-wingers are like, stop calling him a Maryland man. He's from El Salvador. Yeah, he came here when he was 15 years old. He's been living here since 2011. We can call him a Maryland man at this point. I think if you live anywhere for 10 years, that's the limit. When I moved to New York, I didn't consider myself a New Yorker until I'd been here for 10 years. And now that I've been here for well over that, definitely a New Yorker. But that's beside the point. He was asked about Abrego Garcia, and Donald Trump is under the impression still, or is either lying to himself or lying to everybody else and trying to surround himself in a big old hug box of lies, or he really is just Fox News grandpa and doesn't know. But he was really serious. He says, this guy is MS-13. And the interviewer, Terry, he's like, actually, there's no evidence to that. He goes, didn't you see the picture of his fist? It had MS-13 right there on the hand. He's like, Mr. President, that was, that's Photoshop. I mean, some people are saying he would be interpreted that. Look, let's just move on to Ukraine. He goes, no, Terry, we're not moving on. You people, this is why nobody believes in the media anymore. This is why. Why don't you just say I'm right and move on, okay? I mean, everybody else does around here. Which brings me to this lovely point. By the way, when the guy did ask him, are you going to abide by the Supreme Court? And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that shit. I mean, a constitutional crisis every fucking day. I got to smile through the pain because this is absolutely not just absurd and obscene, but scary as fuck, man. Because nobody's standing up to the dude. You know, we got fucking Hakeem Jeffries telling people don't go to El Salvador, and Chuck Schumer complaining about a $20 car tax. It's like, dude, we're looking down the barrel of 25% tariffs on fucking everything, and he's talking about a $20 car tax. Hakeem, Chucky the Shooms, this ain't it, brah. This is not it. I don't know what you're. I'm going to send you a strongly worded letter. We've got a guy wiping his ass with the Constitution, you know, kicking people, citizens out of the country, 2-year-old children with cancer, 4-year-old with cancer, a 2-year-old and his mother, and they kicked him out. Fucking Honduras, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? What are we doing? But he said he was not going to follow the Supreme Court, and he was really adamant about this guy being MS-13. He's still, you know, when the guy's like, you know, the court, not just, they voted 9-0 the first time, and then they voted 7-2, but it's still a majority. They gave you a direct order. Well, he didn't say order, because nobody would say order to Donald Trump. He'd lose his fucking mind. But, you know, he made it clear that the Supreme Court, you know, directed him to do this, you know, and he even mentioned the phrase that I always say, you know, but the buck stops here, Mr. President. And I appreciate the way the guy kind of stood up to him, stood his ground. Donald Trump's sitting there like he's taking a dump on the toilet, you know, the way he always does. And I got to say, he's looking a little diminished these days, especially next to that guy. That guy was standing very, you know, stock straight up in the chair, and he's kind of a tall guy, got a deep voice. He didn't look like he was worried about Donald Trump, which I appreciate. After seeing the new cabinet meeting they just filmed, and everybody's like, Mr. President, your shoulders are so strong. Mr. President, I just want to thank you for being the best daddy that we could ever have. Mr. President, I am honored to be here, and may I say your penis is gigantic, sir. North Korea is like fucking taking notes. Jesus Christ, you can get away with that too? My God. And then, of course, you know, for his 100 days, he does a 100-day rally. And he goes out there and, you know, he's surrounded. We get bigger crowds than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is like in front of 30, 35,000 people a pop. And this guy's got a crowd of like 3,000, 4,000 people. And whatever. I'm not going to sit here and do a dick measuring contest about fucking crowd sizes. This is the stupidest thing ever. You know, but not as stupid as his speech, because he went on to go, you know, the polls, they lie in the polls. It's 40, they say I'm 45, 39. I don't know where they're getting these numbers. I say it's like 60, 70, probably 67, maybe 80. I don't know. I mean, honestly, they're all frauds. They're all fakes. They're all doing the witch hunt again. And then, oh my God. 25th Amendment, for fuck's sakes. Somebody. No. There is no way that they would do a 25th Amendment. Just watching everybody in that cabinet meeting just polish, spit shine those butt cheeks. Just let me put a little bit more orange on, or whatever. You know, they got orange marks on their face from where they were kissing his fucking ass. Oh my God. But it's Donald Trump. He's screaming about judges telling him what he can and can't do. Calling them communists, by the way, which, Jesus, words have meaning, dog. They got meaning. I don't know. I know it's a talking point. It's socialism, it's Marxism, it's communism, but he leaned into it. He's like, they're such communists. I mean, tell me you're not doing Hitler without telling me you're not doing Hitler. It's just like everything is a fucking commie everywhere. I just wrote this book. It's called My Journey. Mein Kampf, my struggle, my journey. This is my story. It's my truth. Everything is just my truth. We don't believe you have your truth. Honey, I have my truth. And it's 60, 70, 80% of America just loves me. And the tariffs are going great. Money is coming in. I'm making deals everywhere. I've got 200 deals, Mr. President, but there's only 193 countries. Some of them are double. Got his Treasury Secretary out there carrying water for him, you know. No, these are sub deals. somebody has got to do something about this guy. I mean, it's obviously not going to be Mike Johnson. He's not doing it. He's catering to every whim. The Supreme Court shows like little teeny bits of strength, but they don't have an army. And the judicial system is taking so goddamn long. Every law that they fucking break, you know, they are doing from California to the edge of New Mexico, all along the border, they're just going to call that a military base. So if you cross over there, they can shoot you. I mean, that's what it is. Donald Trump wanted to shoot him in the leg last time. Now he's going to say, if you trespass on military soil and they shoot you, I mean, I'm just saying, maybe you shouldn't come across this border. But even if they come in the right way, right? No. Fuck that shit too. Donald Trump is definitely a menace to society. He is absolutely a menace to society. But hey, on the bright side, I hear we're going to be losing one Elon Musk. That could be a good thing. The man that said he was going to cut $2 trillion from the budget, and then he said he was going to be $1 trillion from the budget, and then he said he was going to be $160 billion for the budget. That's what he's cutting out, and I don't know where this money's going to go because, you know, I mean, Donald Trump is basically trying to, you know, increase the size of the military and cut taxes at the same time. While we're making less revenue, we are literally underwater in the first quarter already. We're like, you know, 0.3%. Normally we have standard growth of 4 to 7% a year in standard growth for like the stock market and what have you. And he is in the negative zone. So, but it's Biden. It's Biden. Last year, it was Donald Trump. The market's doing good in 2024. I could give a shit about the fucking market as long as the rich people are happy. Maybe they're not firing the rest of us. But, you know, when the market was really good under Biden, he's like, no, because they know I'm going to be president. And now that he's president, he's instituted a whole bunch of crazy ass shit with, you know, tariffs and pissing off everybody, you know, across the goddamn world. Now the economy's taking, no, that's an overhang. That's a Biden overhang. Honey, stop looking at your dick. It's the only over fucking hang I see here. You can't see your dick. Your belly done lapped over your belt, dog. But I hear that Donald Trump is saying, Elon Musk is saying that he's saving us $160 billion. Wherever that's going to go, I don't know. But Donald Trump has also already increased the budget by $220 billion. So there goes that. And by the way, Elon, from all the dumbass firings that he did, and he had to turn around and rehire some people because I don't know how government works. He has to rehire some people, and that's going to end up costing us, you know, in the billions of dollars to do the lawsuits and then pay all these people the back pay. So firing 250,000 people from the government apparently saves us $160 billion. Meanwhile, we increased the military budget from $150 billion to $1 trillion. So that's $150 billion. How about we just don't increase the military? There's an idea. Save a couple of bucks. They were never, ever, ever going to cut the military. We're going to cut the military 8% because we believe in getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. I got an idea. Let's raise that shit. Forget about that saving money there. No. It's crazy times, baby. It's crazy times. Donald Trump, man, you had a great week. You've been really entertaining. I cannot wait to see what next week brings. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.